Brave, Not Perfect. Fear Less, Fail More, and Live Bolder by Reshma Saujani. Picture this. You're 13 years old, and a dream takes root in your heart. Fast forward 20 years and you've done everything right. Yale Law School, check. Impressive corporate career, check. Perfect resume, double check. At 33, you finally go for it. You announce you're running for United States Congress. Everyone thinks you've lost your mind. You're challenging an 18-year veteran, a political heavyweight. Even your supporters pull you aside and whisper, "Maybe wait your turn." But something inside you refuses to listen. For the first time in forever, you feel genuinely alive. You raise money, newspapers start calling, and you start believing the impossible might actually happen. Then Election Day arrives. You don't just lose, you get absolutely demolished, 19% of the vote. It's the kind of public, humiliating defeat that makes you want to hide under the covers for a year. For Reshma Saujani, this crushing moment became an unexpected gift. Because looking back, she realized something startling. That disastrous campaign was the first truly brave thing she'd ever done in her adult life. This realization became the foundation of her game-changing book, Brave, Not Perfect. It tackles a powerful idea that's been hiding in plain sight. For generations, we've been teaching boys to be brave while training girls to be perfect. Today, we're going to unpack that training. We'll explore how chasing perfection becomes a cage that shrinks our dreams and muffles our voices. But here's the good news. We're also going to learn how to break free. By the end, you'll understand the difference between looking good and feeling alive. And you'll have practical tools to start flexing your bravery muscle. One imperfect step at a time. This isn't just about achieving more. It's about living more fully, joyfully, and authentically than you ever imagined possible. So let's dive in and discover the path from perfect to brave. Ever stopped yourself from raising your hand because you might be wrong? Rewritten an email 10 times, terrified of sounding off? Avoided trying something new because you told yourself, "That's just not my thing"? If you're nodding along, you felt perfectionism's invisible grip. According to Reshma Saujani, this isn't a character flaw, it's how you were trained. From day one, the world shapes us differently. Boys get the adventure narrative. Explore, roughhouse, climb higher, and if you fall, dust yourself off and go again. They're encouraged to tinker, break stuff, take chances, and see failure as just part of the game. In other words, they learn to be brave. Girls get a different script. Be careful, sit nicely, look pretty, be agreeable, get straight A's to make everyone proud. Parents and teachers, with genuinely good intentions, steer them toward what they're already good at, hoping to shield them from disappointment. It's a cocoon woven from love and concern, but it also insulates them from the essential practice of taking risks. While boys get rewarded for trying, girls get rewarded for perfection. This early training doesn't fade away. It follows us into adulthood like a shadow. Consider the famous corporate study. Men apply for jobs when they meet just 60% of the qualifications, while women wait until they meet 100%. We feel we need to be perfect before we even start. It shows up when we bite our tongues in meetings, not because we lack ideas, but because we don't want to seem pushy. We stay in jobs we've outgrown, not because we need the money, but because, as one woman told Reshma, "It's what I'm good at." We cling to safe and comfortable, rarely venturing into territory where we might not ace it immediately. This isn't biology, it's conditioning. Take the simple but revealing lemonade experiment. Researchers gave kids lemonade made with salt instead of sugar. The boys took one sip and immediately spit it out, declaring it disgusting. The girls? They politely drank it all, even choking it down. When researchers asked why, they admitted it tasted terrible, but didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. This tiny moment reveals a massive truth. From early childhood, girls develop an overpowering need to please. This impulse to be helpful and accommodating becomes a lifelong mission. We say yes when we're screaming no inside because we're terrified of disappointing people, or, more accurately, of them thinking badly of us. When you work overtime to get everyone to like you, you often end up not liking yourself very much. This perfectionism training creates what psychologist Carol Dweck calls a fixed mindset, the belief that abilities are set in stone. You're either smart or you're not, athletic or you're not. With this mindset, any failure feels like a final verdict on your worth. A bad grade doesn't mean you need to study differently. It means you're bad at the subject. This explains why coding teachers at Girls Who Code often find students with completely blank screens. Hit undo, and you discover the student wrote code, got close but deleted everything because it wasn't exactly right. She'd rather show nothing than show imperfection. Compare this to a growth mindset, believing abilities develop through effort. Boys typically get praised for trying and persisting, building resilience. They learn to see failure as a stepping stone, not a dead end. Growing up, this perfect girl training gets amplified. We celebrate girl power with strong heroines and empowering slogans. But there's a twist. We say you can be anything, and many girls hear you have to be everything. Brilliant student, star athlete, loyal friend, effortlessly beautiful, all at once. Then social media enters the picture, the ultimate perfection showcase. Girls spend hours scrolling through impossibly flawless photos, creating relentless pressure to project a perfect life. They take dozens of shots to get one perfect post, carefully editing out every flaw. This creates a split identity, the polished online version and the real, messy human hiding underneath, terrified of judgment. So we grow up, graduate, and enter the real world, only to discover the rules have completely flipped. The behaviors that earned gold stars, being quiet, agreeable, meticulous, suddenly start costing us. Playing nice doesn't get you promoted. Staying silent when someone steals credit for your idea leaves you feeling sick. We followed the right path, the one supposed to guarantee a perfect life, only to wake up in our 20s or 30s feeling hollow and confused, wondering, how did I end up here? This was exactly Reshma's story before Congress. She'd followed the script perfectly. Ivy League degree, high-paying corporate job she secretly hated. She was making her immigrant parents proud but felt miserable inside. Days at a prestigious financial firm, nights crying, feeling trapped and purposeless. The real world, she discovered, doesn't reward perfection, it rewards bravery. So if perfectionism is the problem, what's the solution? Systematically unlearn that training and build a new habit, bravery. Bravery isn't some mystical superpower or a trait determined by biology. It's personal and accessible to everyone. It's about making choices. It's 5-year-old Ainsley showing up to Princess Week at dance class dressed as a hot dog, simply because she wanted to. In a room full of princesses, she dared to be a hot dog. It's the woman finally leaving a comfortable but soul-crushing marriage because she knows she deserves happiness. It's the entrepreneur walking away from the successful company she built because the partnership turned toxic. It's every woman brave enough to ask for help, admitting she doesn't have it all together. Bravery isn't just dramatic moments. It's built in small, quiet, daily choices. And like any muscle, it strengthens with use. Building this muscle starts with changing your mindset. First, recognize you can't be brave while burned out. We treat exhaustion like a trophy, but you can't take risks running on empty. The first radical act of bravery? Prioritizing your well-being. Getting enough sleep. Taking time for yourself. Learning to meditate and calm your anxious brain. Putting your health first, even when it feels selfish. Next, adopt the power of yet. When you catch yourself saying, "I'm not brave," or "I'm not good at public speaking," add that tiny word, yet. This simple shift transforms a dead end into a journey. It turns failure into a temporary setback and gives you permission to be a work in progress. With this mindset, you can practice bravery. The best way? Get comfortable with what you've been trained to avoid, failure. Or as Reshma puts it, be willing to get caught trying. One powerful strategy is actively asking for feedback, especially when you know you weren't at your best. When stuck in perfectionism, Criticism feels like an attack, but when you invite it, you start desensitizing yourself. You begin seeing feedback not as judgment, but as a roadmap for improvement. Great athletes do this constantly, seeking feedback to find their edge and push past it. Another strategy: surround yourself with rejection. Instead of hiding failures in shame, own them. Reshma keeps her Yale Law School rejection letter on her fridge as a reminder to keep going. Talk about your mistakes and rejections. The more you normalize failure, the less power it holds over you. A crucial part of this journey is learning to nix the need to please. This starts with trusting yourself. We've been trained to go along with what others want, but bravery requires tuning into your own gut and honoring it, even if it disappoints someone else. Then comes the single bravest thing a woman can do: learn to say no. Every time you say yes to something misaligned with your priorities, you're saying no to yourself. Learning to say no means clarifying your values. What matters most? Family? Work? Well-being? Once you're clear on priorities, it becomes easier to decline requests that drain your energy and pull you from your purpose. As you learn to say no, also learn to ask for what you want. We're often so afraid of seeming pushy that we stay silent. Start small. Ask a colleague for help. Ask for a better restaurant table. Then go bigger. Ask for the raise you deserve, the promotion you've earned. The more you practice asking, the more you realize your version of pushy is what most people consider normal. Finally, to make this change last, play for Team Brave. For too long, women have been pitted against each other, competing for limited spots at the top. We gossip, judge, and undermine each other because we're scared of being outshone. This is old, tired thinking. True strength comes from supporting the sisterhood. Playing for Team Brave means celebrating other women's successes instead of feeling threatened. It means sharing your own brave moments to inspire others. It means giving honest, compassionate feedback, and most importantly, showing the mess behind the scenes. Effortless perfection doesn't exist. Everyone struggles. Everyone messes up. When you have courage to let people see your imperfections, the bad days, mistakes, moments of doubt, you give them permission to be human too. You replace hollow, superficial connections with something real and authentic. So what happens when you've built your bravery muscle, practiced taking risks, and learned to survive small failures? You prepare yourself for the inevitable, the big, spectacular failure. Life will knock you down. You'll lose a job, a relationship will end, a dream will crumble. When that happens, first allow yourself a pity party. Wallow, be sad, eat the ice cream, but give it a time limit. Then, when ready, get up and celebrate your failure. Celebrate that you tried, that you put yourself out there, that you dared to go for it. Then, review what happened, not with blame, but curiosity. What did you learn? What could you do differently next time? Finally, realign with your purpose. Remember why you started. That purpose is your home, the place you can always return to, no matter the outcome. In the end, this journey from perfect to brave isn't about achieving some new flawless state. It's about letting go. It's about choosing a life that isn't just about looking good, but feeling good. It's realizing the messy, unfinished edges are what make you interesting. Perfect is boring. Bravery is where life truly begins, where you find joy, meaning, and the freedom to be unapologetically, imperfectly, and magnificently you. As we wrap up, let's reflect on the quiet power of brave, not perfect. This isn't just another self-help book. It's a diagnosis of a cultural condition many of us never knew we had. It names that invisible force making us overthink, hold back, and play small. The most profound lesson for me is realizing that pursuing perfection isn't a noble quest for excellence. It's a desperate attempt to avoid judgment. It's driven by fear. We build polished, flawless exteriors not because they make us happy, but because we believe they'll keep us safe from criticism. But this safety is an illusion, a self-imposed prison, keeping us from the very experiences that make life rich and meaningful. Bravery, on the other hand, is willingness to be vulnerable. It's showing up as you are, knowing you might fail, knowing you might be judged, and doing it anyway. It's understanding that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a vital part of it. Every time you try something you're not good at, speak up when silence is easier. Choose authenticity over approval. You're casting a vote for a bigger, more vibrant life. So how can you start putting this into practice today? Let's keep it simple. Here are 3 challenges. First, do something you're terrible at, just for fun. Try cooking a new dish, without worrying about perfection. Go to a dance class and laugh at your lack of coordination. The goal isn't getting it right. It's experiencing the joy of trying without performance pressure. Second, ask for honest feedback on one small thing. An email you wrote, an idea you have. Ask a trusted friend or colleague, how could I have made this better? Don't defend yourself or explain. Just listen. Practice receiving criticism not as an attack, but as a gift. Third, say no to one small thing you'd normally say yes to out of obligation. It doesn't need to be dramatic, just a quiet, firm decision to honor your own time and energy. Feel the discomfort, then feel the freedom that follows. These small acts are bravery's building blocks. They're how you begin rewiring decades of training. That was a summary of Brave, Not Perfect by Reshma Saujani. We've explored the core ideas today, but a summary is like looking at a map of a beautiful country. It shows you landmarks, but it can never replace actually walking the streets, hearing the music, and tasting the food. The real magic of this book lives in its stories and those quiet moments of self-recognition you'll experience reading it yourself. This summary is a doorway. If anything we've discussed has sparked something in you, I encourage you to walk through it. Grab a copy and let its message reshape not just what you do, but who you believe you can become. A link to the book is in the description below. Also, if this journey through ideas has added value to your day, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Billionaire's Bookshelf. It helps us know we're on the right track and ensures you won't miss our next exploration into a book that has the power to change your life. Let's keep learning and growing together.